I remember the exact day that it started for me. I was 23 at the time. It was a Sunday afternoon and I was over at an old girlfriend's house and my head was on her lap and she leaned over and she affectionately rubbed her fingers across my crown and she said, "Oh, there seems to be a little sparse spot on the top of your head, are you alright?" And I knew exactly what she meant. Right at that exact moment, my entire body just went completely cold. It was like this cold sweat rising up my back. I fought with her comment for the remainder of the afternoon. She must have known that there was something wrong because I got out of there pretty quick. And the first thing I did was I rushed upstairs. I looked in the mirror and placed another mirror behind my head. And she was right. It had a great effect on me because I already had a feeling that it was starting for me. I was starting to lose my hair. My own father started to lose his hair when he was about 30. And here I was, still 7 years younger, and it already started for me. But I was going to be the last person that would ever admit it. I hadn't even looked into balding cures because I think, like most men, you're in so much denial about the whole thing that you just put it to one side and hoping it will stop. And then the time came where I had to eventually face up to it. I just had to shave my head. I avoided work, meetings, social occasions. If my hair wasn't right, then I wouldn't go out. Thinking back now, I do ask myself, why go to all this trouble? Why bother? But it's my hair. I wanted to keep it. We've not got it easy, I mean, women have breast implants all the time. Men and women have liposuction every single day. Men don't have it easy when it comes to their hair. There's a stigma attached to a balding man. You would never have a bald president of the United States of America. Never a bald prime minister. If you lose your hair, what are the options? A wig? Mascara? It's ridiculous. It's easy to laugh about it now, but people have changed, the world's changed, attitudes have changed, and science and technology has changed, and you can get your hair back. I did my research. Most of it was online. I joined all the forums, comparing photographs, studying the naturalness of the hairlines, density, and the coverage and all the things that they talk about. And in most of these cases, the guys who had follicular transplantation, their hairlines were very natural. So I started to mail out to these guys, the surgeons and their assistants and the transplant patients, and getting feedback basically just to make sure that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it once and I was going to do it right. So by 2004, Matt Zupan and I from Shapiro had been corresponding for about a year. By and far the most consistent and the most supportive. And the first thing that, and he suggested that no matter what I do, no matter what surgeon I choose or whatever clinic I go to, that I should make Propecia the top of my list. I was just so enthused by talking to Matt that I wanted to sign up with Shapiro right away and get in for an assessment and when can we do this? I'm in Europe and you're in America, how do we sort this out? He'd sent me away the first time. He said, "Look kid, if you're serious about this, if you're serious about getting this done, you have to know the difference between what is available out there in follicular transplantation and what is right for you." And this guy still has all his hair. And he knows how important it is to him, and he doesn't want to lose it either. We kept in touch on and off for about 6 to 8 months. Then he eventually asked me if there was anyone out there whose work I admired, who'd caught my eye, anybody in particular that I was considering to be my surgeon. And I have to be honest, the competition out there in the world of follicular transplantation it's pretty close, particularly where density and coverage is concerned. What is different about Matt and Doc's work and the work of the physicians and their consultants is that they plan ahead. They do the work in stages, more gradual. The naturalness and fullness of the hairlines is way out in front. Now, when you set out to find the world's leading player in their craft with something as important as this, how do you know you've found them? Is it through reputation? Is it through word of mouth? Is it reflected in the cost? Is it how many awards they've won? Now, a little under a year after my second procedure, I know now how I found the best. I've seen it for myself.